Welcome into Game 2 of this doubleheader here at Lemoyne Field in Waterbury in the Constitution State of Connecticut, as Post and Southern Connecticut State facing off, with the Owls looking for a sweep and the Eagles looking to split the doubleheader. They're on the first game of the season. In Game 1, if you missed it, 11-5, the final score of that was the Owls took care of the Eagles, winning the first game of the season in back-to-back years after dropping their previous three. The Owls also snapped a 7-game road losing streak dating back to last season, and in doing so extended the Eagles' home losing streak dating back to last season. On the mound for the Eagles in Game 2 is Bailey Rowe, the freshman righty from Salem, New Hampshire, standing tall at 6'2".
So here is really good upstairs. It's really good for bats.
The pitch.
Fielders.
The inner ball four. So early on, the Eagles have got trouble already brewing for themselves. The Owls have got runners on first and second.
Lost one of them.
Yeah, we said that the other day too. It's not even in the bag. I didn't see it.
And for the Owls is Sophia and Giolini. She looks at a ball. 2-0. And Giolini, a Watertown, Connecticut native, 5'6" sophomore, is a utility player and a catcher. One is in the dirt, ball. Well, the Eagles want to split this series on a opening day. They're going to need to kind of limit the heat that the Owls are emitting early on, as that one goes sailing over the catcher's head into the backstop. Both runners will advance. The pitch. Oh, it'll be a ball. Cheers from all around the ballpark on this beautiful Monday afternoon in Waterbury. I want a ripped foul up the first base line. Here's the pitch. That one is swung on, lifted into left field and into the gloves. On the left fielder gets the out. No thoughts about tagging from the Owls. So the runners will hold there at second and third. One is in the dirt for a ball. Gianna Iaquinto, the batter here, the graduate infielder from Danbury. has a chance to give the Owls a lead early on as she Swings and misses at that one. Now 1-1 the count. Iaquinto standing at 5'4". Rips this one foul. Going over towards the Owls dugout. Here's the pitch. Well, it doesn't quite clip the zone now, 1-1. That one lined right into the glove of the third baseman for the third out. So the Eagles managed to get out of it without allowing a run. 0-0 your score going into the home half of the first. Back here on the CACC network, this time with my partner in crime for Game 2, Mike Vesci. Mike?
Yeah, we got a great game going on here today between the Owls and the Post compared to last year, at least. I mean, last year I think we had two mercy rolls in 5 innings each.
No mercies so far. Not today, at least. As Giselle Delutri will get the task of facing off against the Eagles in Game 2. And Isabella Oliver is the first to greet her.
Yeah, she was one of the better hitters on the team last year, coming into the year as just a freshman. It's funny, we talk about it with her a lot. Her first play to the outfield, I believe, in her career, the ball popped out of her glove and went over the fence for a home run.
Really?
Yes,
oh
yeah.
My goodness.
Talk about that quite frequently. She hates it, but
oh, no.
there's photos and everything of it.
So there's proof.
There is.
Isabella, she's a sophomore outfielder from right here in Waterbury.
Actually, previously was going to go to WestCon and play basketball and then decided to take her talents here instead.
We thank her for that, but she does ground out, though, right back to the pitcher, Delutri, hailing from North Belmore, New York. And she is the first out of this game. That'll bring in Haley DeBona, freshman infielder from Wolcott, Connecticut. She looks at a ball to start her evening.
0 for 4 in game number 1, but I believe she had a bunch of key plays at the hot corner over at third in her first collegiate start.
Should be a fun one for her. Her first look at a college doubleheader. A little bit of a different format than the Connecticut players are used to. Usually only one game, and then you're done for the day. It's softball. And she swings and misses at that pitch.
Yeah, she's somebody who, coming out of high school, if I remember correctly, we talked to her during media day. She at Holy Cross. She probably was teammates with Isabella Oliver as well. She was also a commit to Clark University initially. She plays kind of all over the field.
So kind of multi-talented, you could say.
Yeah, I think most of the things on the right side of the field is where she, or left side of the field if you're facing the batter's box, is where she plays primarily.
Well, she strikes out there, but it'll bring up the number 3 hole hitter. The starter is Bailey Ruell, another freshman. Righty and first baseman, 6'2", from Salem, New Hampshire.
Yeah, she's someone to look for being one of the power bats for the Eagles lineup that didn't have much power last year outside of Bailey Dickinson, who obviously graduated, is now a graduate assistant coach for Tracy Garofalo's team.
That must be so special to go from the field to the dugout.
Well, and funny enough, Tracy actually recruited Bailey Dickinson before leaving for CSI for a few years.
That's right. She left and then came back.
Yep.
She missed it. She must have. Owls very vocal in the dugout today. We got their chance ready as that one is a ball. Well, both of these teams start off in Connecticut, home away from home sort of for SCSU, but these two teams will be going to Florida shortly, Mike.
And they'll be playing each other again in Florida, which ironically enough last year, the Eagles were swept in doubleheader at home before going down to Florida and winning, I believe it was 2-1 against the Owls. No, it was 2-0 against the Owls. And Alyssa Calabrese, the starting left fielder right fielder for the team, actually got the start in that game and pitched a complete game shutout.
Yeah, the Eagles will be very busy down in Vieira, Florida, where they'll be playing 12 games in the Space Coast Spring Games, if you can believe it. That's quite a lot of experience that they'll gain down in Florida.
Ironically enough, a lot of the East Region teams are in that mix, too, to play.
They'll take the trip down to Florida before they come back up for the end of March and early April, as a base knock into center field will give us the first hit of the ball game for the Eagles, courtesy of Bailey Ruell.
First collegiate hit as well, as she was 0 for 2 in game number 1 with a walk and a run scored.
Hopefully they save the ball for her.
I don't know. We run out of them a lot of times, so I don't know if that'll be an option today.
A few have made their way onto the parking lot. Some folks will have to check their cars. I saw a couple of windshields hit in the last game. Good thing I parked far away.
Yeah, that's what we tell everybody that works with us to do, is when you're coming to softball, do not park right near the the dugouts.
You are in the danger zone, if they will. You go to, SeaWorld, and you got the water hazards if you sit in the front row. Well, here you got to worry about flying softballs hitting the windshield.
Even the cars up who are parked employees who kind of have to park in that lot up there are at risk, too.
That's really unfortunate, as Nyla Sapio will strike out and end the inning, but not before the Eagles get a hit. No runs, no errors. Scores 0-0 headed into the second. Back here on the CACC network as we get ready for the top of the second here at Lemoyne. Nice little day here we got too, Mike. Blue skies. I mean, I feel like this is the first time we had what I like to call spring sports weather.
Yeah, ironically enough, as that ball's hit up the middle by Latouche, and I think it was caught by Tompkins for the first out of the inning. Ironically enough, we saw Julie Meyer-Jones, the former head coach who's now in charge of student-athlete work in Drubner, saying she wishes she could have wore short sleeves at least once in her 4 seasons here, or 3 seasons. She did not get the chance to at all because of how cold every single game was. This was the warmest game we've had in the last 3 or 4 years that she was the head coach of this team.
It's pretty great, too, honestly. It's always good for everybody. I mean, we got families here. There's tons of people here at Lemoyne, and everybody's just having a good time. Blue skies. I mean, Connecticut's happy.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part to be a Debbie Downer is it can only go down from here because
right.
The temperature's going to go down again.
But tomorrow it's supposed to be like this, too. So, unfortunately, no softball at Lemoyne, but at least we have some good weather to look forward to. A sneak preview of what the next couple weeks might look like.
Yeah, and baseball will be in the 60s at least, too, for Wednesday, their home opener as well. So a few nice warm games, but then, I don't expect this to last. No one does. There's also a giant flood outside the press box if you walk out the door because of all the snow melting. So, we have our things we're contending with out here.
Yeah, you can't go too far in Connecticut in March without remembering what once was, and the snow is everywhere to remind us.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to make a return with a vengeance at the end of the latter half of the month. I'm not to be a weatherman during this game, but I have this feeling we'll have one more good snowstorm in us.
Yeah, neither of us are meteorologists.
No. When I was little, I wanted to be one, but now I'm doing this.
That's how, right? As
Yep.
Ruel walks the batter to lead off the second. Meteorologist, I would have watched you.
I would have watched myself too, maybe, not to brag, but that we had different plans, I guess. There was also the NBA dream, but
yes.
That wasn't going to happen either.
Mike's a baller. I've heard your jump shot is silky.
We'll see if there's the staff game next month.
I was hoping. we could put all this talk to work.
Maybe we will in April.
Let's see Mike Vesey cook.
See if Olivia Young can cook at the dish or if it would be Ro who gets the best of her.
Young, a Connecticut native like many on both sides. She hails from Sterling. A pitcher and a utility player. The junior is 5'4". Facing off against Ruel, the very tall 6'2" stature.
269 hitter last year as well on the Owls, was the 4th highest in terms of average in 38 games played with 5 home runs and 26 RBIs.
As that pass ball will allow the runner from first to advance to second. Yeah, the Owls had some good hitters last year. On their way to a 15-23 record. Not so hot in the conference, though, 4-16 in the NE10.
Yeah, very tough conference to play in the East region. You had Pace, who was nationally ranked and pretty much ran the show the entire year, and you've got a few other very good programs. I think Franklin Pierce is another pretty good one, and Assumption also.
Yeah, some good teams there that both of these teams should be aware of going into Florida. Believe Franklin Pierce will be there.
Yeah, most of the teams are down there. You just may not play them.
Yeah, especially for conference. You're not really going to play conference games too often early on in the season. They usually end up piling those on towards the end of the year. It'll be a while before Post sees their first conference game. That won't come until March 28th against Chestnut Hill.
Which coincides with Senior Day as well, before the game at 11:40.
Be a fun night of affairs.
Yeah, Chestnut Hill's been one of those lower echelon teams along with the Eagles the last few years. And last time they were here at Lemoyne, the Eagles almost overcame, I think it was like a 7-run deficit in the final inning of the game. The bases were loaded with Jenny Raquelme, who normally doesn't hit at the dish with the bases loaded and a chance to win it. And she popped out to the warning track. We thought it was about to go out for a game-winning grand slam with 2 outs. It was insane.
Oh, my goodness. As that one is lifted into left field. Left fielder is there to grab it. No thoughts of tagging for the runner on second. Outfield's getting some busy work early on.
It's good to see Rule put together a good first few innings in her first collegiate start as well, especially, not that the pitching struggled in game number 1, but it's good to see a freshman get out there and kind of hammer these batters home early on. Owls lined up to put up 11 runs in the first game.
Yeah, it must be nice to see, especially from a coaching perspective, to see that your freshman is easing in so smoothly to start the season. It's a long season ahead of them.
Yeah, and you got 4 or 5 pitchers on the roster as well, which helps kind of divvy up the load.
As Nadia Sestari will fly out, and just like that, the Eagles make quick work of the Owls. No runs, no errors. We move on to the bottom half of the second. Back here on the CACC Network, quick break there as the Owls and Eagles in a sort of battle of the birds, Mike.
Yeah, Anthony wanted a longer break, but we're moving right along here in a 0-0 game. His voice is a little shot from all the games he's been doing lately.
I know.
But we appreciate him stepping in for this one that got moved from Friday.
Yeah, there was, a tough couple weeks for me, but I'm here nevertheless and excited to hopefully get fully healthy before softball and baseball really picks up around the state of Connecticut.
Do you think your mentor, Jeff Dooley, is listening right now?
I don't think so. I think, honestly, I haven't talked to Jeff in a week or so. I think he's still in Florida or Arizona, rather, with the Rockies.
Oh, okay. See, that's a nice little plug there, too. Anthony knows a big-time broadcaster as well. And he's giving up his services for us.
I think Dools is still actually with the Rockies, of course, of the MLB and spring training. And what fun that is. Hopefully I get to be a part of spring training festivities one day.
Take notes, MLB scouts, if you're listening right now.
That's right. Angelica Tompkins at the plate. And then, of course, the National Softball League that has been employed by the MLB is out there, too. And that's something cool because these players, may find themselves in pro softball as they scout all divisions, for that league because it's so new. But you really see good players at all levels.
Yeah, which is the nice part about college softball and baseball. You see a lot of these hitters that they can compete at any level, really. You've got your really talented D3 players, really even in the state of Connecticut with the Eastern Connecticut's and locally in the Northeast with your Salve Regina and Endicott's and stuff like that. And on the softball side, Eastern Connecticut's always a title contender at the D3 level amongst other teams. The D1 like UConn as Tompkins strikes out. That's actually the first time she hasn't reached base so far this year. She was 3 for 3 coming into the game.
Yeah, hot game 1, but starting off game 2 with a little bit of a quib. Yeah, no, it's really a special opportunity for, these young ladies to have a league like that and for it to be sanctioned by the MLB. To have that support from that league is really just something so special, and it opens up tons of opportunities not only for athletes and coaches, but for professionals in the industry as well.
Yeah, and we're seeing it already, I think, with women's lacrosse, just started a pro league, and women's ice hockey with the PWHL has started to take off, and I think they just added a couple more teams this year. So women's sports have really started to blossom in that respect, and now with softball, and even there's a pro baseball league for women now, too. It's really nice to see.
As Alyssa Calabrese swings and misses at back-to-back pitches and gets punched out, but yeah, just it really is awesome for women's sports and women in general. Of course, International Women's Month, this month, and their day was yesterday too. International Women's Day was yesterday. It's a really quite a thing that's going on there, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, and shout out to our international players that are across all our sports. We don't have any on the softball team, but we do on our flag football team, which had their first ever game yesterday, which was really cool. Dropping everything up here in the press box. So that's really been cool to see is a wide variety of people. Some of our cameras keep going out.
Well, you do apologize for that. Very windy here at Lemoyne. It's feeling almost like Chicago with all this wind.
Yeah, where Waterbury is located and where we're located in particular is a little bit of a valley, so that kind of contributes to the wind. Up top, it's even windier on top of the roof where we have the camera operators right now.
And kudos to all of them. We have a few ladies on the staff, of course. Leah Lockwood, of course, in the booth with us. So shout out to them for all their hard work. As the Eagles will go down in order 1, 2, 3. The Owls don't allow a run, a hit, or any errors. We move on to the next half inning. You're watching the CACC Network. Back here on the CACC Network with Mike Vesci, Anthony Altamirano here on the call for post-softball Game 2, SCSU, up here in Connecticut. Farther from where they would actually be, though. They're down in New Haven. That's where they play.
Their grad assistant is actually here today and was telling me they're not even sure when they're going to be able to play their first home game because they still have snow on their field, which most of it should melt over the next few days because they have a grass field. So unlike us, we can plow it. They can't really plow it or else it would take up the field.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 70 tomorrow, so hopefully SCSU can sort of figure it out as that one is ripped right to third, throws to first, and gets the out to go with it. Great play there for the Eagles.
I believe that's DeBona's fourth assisted put out today in 4 attempts, and that's tough to do at the hot corner on any normal day, but to do it in your first and second collegiate games, that's even more impressive.
Showing poise over there at that, like you mentioned, the hot corner. Third is really not an easy position to play in any diamond sport, but especially softball.
Last year, Nyla Sapio was over there playing at third most of the year. And before that, it was Caitlin DeAngelis, one of the greatest hitters of all time for the program.
As that brings in one of the greatest hitters in SCSU, in Izzy Ingersoll. NE10 Rookie of the Year last year. As the Owls dugout cheering on Izzy. That one goes sailing over the catcher's head for a ball. Ingersoll had an impressive season last year. We talked earlier about the Pro Softball League. I wouldn't be surprised if some scouts have already looked at her.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but, I mean, depending on how many teams there are and stuff, you'll definitely get some looks at the D2, D3 levels. A lot of D1s will obviously go there, kind of like what the PWHL is right now, but definitely could see some lower-level division teams also getting some of their players in there down the line, especially with expansion and everything.
Oh, yeah, of course. And she's only a sophomore now, so she still has this entire season ahead of her, but along with the next 2 seasons to really prove if she's worthy of that pro league.
Yeah, and what has she done so far today? Just checking the stats here. In game 1 for 3 with a triple and an RBI and a walk, and this is her second at bat of the day, and
she walked.
Yep.
She got patience at the plate, and man, she knows how to hit the softball. 375 average last season. 3rd in the NE10, led SCSU, though. And again, as a freshman, that is just pretty impressive. Izzy Ingersoll thought about going, but makes her way back. This will be Brianna Pearson, hailing from Cheshire, Connecticut. .5'7" right-handed hitter. Takes the next pitch. It's a ball. And Ingersoll really is thinking about running.
Wouldn't shock me if she did either. Last year, the Eagles, I think they gave up close to 60 stolen bases throughout the year.
That one is slapped towards the bullpen. Saved by the bullpen, I should say. Almost went into the lot.
My apologies. They gave up 103 stolen bases last year on 109 attempts to their opponents.
Yeah, so we should be keeping an eye on these Owls. As that one is grounded to third. Once again, throws to first for the out. Ingersoll able to advance on that play. We may catch her flying to third. It'll bring up Sophia Angiolini, sophomore catcher from Watertown. Rips this one right to the shortstop, but it ends up going past her. Glove into center field, scoring a run. And Izzy Ingersoll, and now she'll make her way to second. It's Sophia Angiolini with an RBI double. Well, she got all of that ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, great piece of hitting for the first hit of the game for the Owls, which means, Anthony, you won't be able to call a no-hitter today. But I didn't want to say anything, but then after that one, that was the first hit of the day for the Owls against Royal. I was just about to say, too, that she retired the top 3 hitters with ease 2 times through the order, which is very tough to do, is beating an opponent the second time through, especially as a rookie, nonetheless.
Pitching good so far. Only 1 run allowed up to this point. Still early, but not too, messy.
Now, a lot of errors in game 1 for both teams. I think 5 combined, 2 for post, 2 for SCSU, and 3 for post. But, it's the first game of the season.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to happen.
This is that, part of the year where everybody's still finding their footing. And, well, apparently not the Owls. They have their chemistry. But I was going to say usually everybody's finding their chemistry, too, working with new players. It's a quick turnaround for spring, and especially for those players that are multi-sport athletes. It's a quick turnaround, not as much time to prepare as others.
Yeah, and on top of that, especially for the Eagles, new coach coming in. Well, familiar face, but not for the players that are currently on this roster. So getting used to a new culture for the upperclassmen and so on. We can talk more about that in the next half inning, as that was a pop-out, I think, to Sapia at second to end the inning.
That's right. End the inning, but not before a run comes across to score. The Owls flying away with a 1-run lead. You're watching this CACC Network. Back here on the CACC Network with Mike Vesci as the Owls have an early lead in the top of the third, 1-0 so far. Is Giselle Delutri still out there on the mound for SCSU?
Yeah, we were talking because it's kind of ironic. I was talking about before the break how the Eagles have a little bit of a mix of newcomers and of course, a new coach, new culture. And you've got Delutri on the mound who was with the program last year in 6-10 overall. And then Sophia Angiolini was a catcher on the team last year. And for the Eagles, a lot of their pitchers, as Jones strikes out, a lot of their pitchers and catchers don't have familiarity yet with each other in a game situation like this. Sydney Jones wasn't on this team last year. She's a transfer coming in. And then you have Bailey Rule, obviously, who's brand new. A lot of the other pitchers are, players from last year on this team. But you've got a new battery to work with on the plate and, behind the plate and on the mound. So little things like that contributing to kind of finding your flow and mojo as the year goes on, in addition to obviously having a new head coach for these Eagles.
Yeah, now it's Hannah Searles coming up to the plate, the 9-hole hitter. Sophomore outfielder and second baseman from Bethlehem. Swings and misses at that one. 0-2 now the count. Here's Delutri. That one is flied out to right field, and there to make the play is Yana Iaquinto. That'll be the second out of the half inning. So we go back to the top of the order in Isabella Oliver.
Delutri actually last year pitched against the Eagles, went 3 innings in the second game of the doubleheader, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. The Owls won that game 23-7.
And it looks like the Owls catcher is coming into the circle to talk to Delutri. Not sure what that was about.
Probably second time through the order, if I had to guess, correct, if I'm not mistaken. And you're just trying to maybe attack batters a little differently so that they don't have to see the same thing coming.
Yeah. It's the ever so dangerous threat of Isabella Oliver,
Yeah, last year she was one of the more consistent hitters, and she's not that we stole a lot of bases last year. We only stole 11.
But she's got speed.
Yeah, she's got speed if she gets on base. She hit 232 last year with 5 extra base hits, 6 RBI. She was mostly a top-of-the-lineup hitter, though, so not too many ribby opportunities, obviously, with that being said.
She takes her time with her counts, too. 1-1 now so far, and it's 1-0 in the bottom of the third with 2 outs, nobody on. Swings and misses out of that one. Now 1-2 the count. Yeah, she's one of the players on post who's got good patience at the plate.
Yeah, and these Eagles, I would say, compared to what I've seen the last couple of years, seem more patient at the plate today, taking more pitches and not being overly aggressive with their pitch selection in terms of swinging away.
So swings and misses at a ball in the dirt, drop through strike, catcher able to throw it to first for the out, and that will do it for this half inning. We head to the bottom of the third. Score 1-0 Owls. You're watching the CACC Network. Back here on the CACC Network as we get ready for the top of the fourth inning. Quickly, we're making our way through this game, Mike.
I mean, the first game was an hour 56 minutes, so it's nice to see this one kind of have a quicker pace to it. Of course, though, on the mound, both pitchers have been dominating, I would say, so far, and it looks like we've – different. No, we got Alyssa Calabrese actually on the mound for the Eagles. It looks like I thought that was a 24 at first or a 4 at first, but that's Madison Ocasio, who's a catcher/outfielder.
That's right, new pitcher on the mound, the junior right-hander from Oakville taking the mound. Garofalo's first change of this ball game.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good the way she's attacked these first 2 games of the season in terms of the pitching and getting everybody some looks, but not pushing them to a point where – they're out there for too long where maybe if they give up a few extra runs because they're tired or whatever, they get discouraged. You're leaving them in the game long enough where they work themselves out of some trouble, they're out of some counts, and they're getting that confidence because they're putting together good innings like we saw Lipsky do in game number 1 as well as Barnett. And then you see Rule in her first collegiate start have a solid 3 innings and just gave up that 1 hit along the way. So I really like the approach that she's taken to these games so far with the pitching.
And it'll be a 4-pitch walk to Miss Cheyenne Latouche, the first batter to face her. Will be Samantha La Femina now, the second batter to face her. She's squaring up for a bunt. Throw to first in time. Oh, runner almost gets caught stranded at second. She thought about rounding to third, but she almost got lost out there.
Yeah, phenomenal work on the bases by the fielders, because we saw in game number 1 on a bunt attempt pretty similar to that. I think it was Biseglia came in to charge it, but then Sapia didn't come over to cover first, and she did a good job of wheeling over to do that and rotate in so that they could get the out at first and not make it a first and second situation.
As that one is going to be a ball, 1-0 now. Yeah, really heads-up play there from the infielders, able to get that out very quickly. Do have a runner in scoring position, though, here as it is 1-0 Owls. 1 runner on second, 1 out. And a 2-0 count.
Yeah, her last game against the Owls, it was a start. A 7-inning one-hitter, 4 walks, 1 strikeout, and a hit batter down in Florida. And then the very next game, she went to that very next same day against St. Anselm. She pitched 3 innings and gave up 1 hit with 1 run in 1 walk. So she had a very dominant afternoon down in Florida that day, even though the Eagles split those pair of games.
Yeah, the Eagles are winning this all-time series by a game, and 8-7 now in the all-time series against SCSU. 2-2 the count. To Olivia Young. Grounds it to third. Toss over to first. Oh, just a little off target. Goes past the first baseman. And a run will score on the error. So that'll be ruled a reached on error for Olivia Young and then advanced on the same play if you're scoring at home. Now it's Nadia Sestari to face the pitcher, and she's a graduate second baseman from Naugatuck. Hits this one very sharply, but foul. Boy, we heard the crack of that bat all the way from up here in the booth.
Yeah, and the way it kind of hit the ground, at least on the screen I'm watching to my right, I thought that was in play still, or it hit off of the rubber of something, the way it kind of jumped up suddenly.
Yeah, I thought maybe it had hit her foot, but she didn't react, so then it obviously did not. That one is grounded back towards the pitcher. Sliding dive from the second baseman. Throws to first from her knees, but can't get the out in time. Throw home. They call her out. They said she didn't touch home. Umpire says she slid past home, and the catcher tags her. Heads up play from the Eagles as they get out of it, but not before a run comes across the score on the air. 2-0. The Owls still lead it. Back here on the CACC network as we get ready for this next half inning. Here with Mike Vesey in the booth. Mike, pretty good game so far.
Yeah, a couple errors now for Post in that last half inning. Still only 1 hit for Southern Connecticut. If you're the Eagles, you want to keep this game close, and just at this point, you don't want to beat yourself. And they kind of beat themselves in that last inning to allow that run to come in. So they just got to kind of get back to what they're doing in those first 3 innings. Great play by Bailey Rule, too, to stretch out and get the out at first. So she's having a phenomenal day in the field and on the mound, and she's 1 for 1 at the plate. So she's doing everything right for the team, and now the rest of the team's got to continue to figure something out against Delutri and go from there and string together some hits and some runs.
Yeah, Delutri's still out there on the mound for the Owls. I should say in the circle. Not the mound. No mound in softball. Even us up here. This is our spring training in the booth, pretty much.
Yeah, this might be the only game I'm on for all spring, so it's more spring training for you than it is me. It's just matter of fact, we have a lot of extra people today to help out with putting the broadcast together, so I figured I'd help you out since your voice is a little shot from everything you've been doing the past few weeks, and Kristen's not here to give her softball insight.
That's right. We do miss Kristen Brown. Hopefully she's watching at home. If she is, shout out to you, Kristen. Hope you feel better.
I'm going to 99.9% say she's probably not.
You don't think so?
And if she's not, text me right now and tell me you're watching the game.
I hope she is. I hope she is now, just because you said that. I hope she is now. And you know what? If she is, happy Women's Month to her, because she's not here. And happy International Women's Day, although that was yesterday. And to the rest of the ladies watching, of course. Shout out to all of you. Here's the pitch. Ball. Yeah, really cool for the Eagles, though, that they get to kind of start at home before going down to Florida. That's going to be an interesting change, I guess, for both teams weather-wise. It's a little bit warmer in Florida. I'll have this New England breeze.
Playing field-wise, it'll also be a change. As somebody who went down with the Eastern baseball team several years ago to help them with stats and stuff, depending on the turf surface, if they're playing on turf or if they're playing on actual clay, the clay, it's like a super ball, as they describe it down there, with how much the ball bounces on the dirt down there. So depending on what surface they play on, I don't know what they play on at the Space Coast games. If it is dirt, though, it'll be interesting to see how some of those games are scored in terms of rulings on hits and errors.
Yeah, turf field is always a big question across all sports, especially in soccer and really in softball, baseball, two major sports that are questioned, with turf. And football, too, is really a question of should you have it versus should you not.
I mean, if you want the operational perspective of it, operationally wise and cost wise, in the long run, turf is a little bit easier to maintain than grass and everything like that, which makes it more of a keepsake for teams to use or colleges to use, because it'll last you 10, 15 years, whereas you have to maintain grass constantly. And so that's one side of it. The other side is obviously the injuries that can occur from turf as well. But that's landscaping with Mike Vesci for the day. That's about my extended knowledge on that stuff.
We'll need to get the crew landscaper up here for post, get his thoughts.
Well, ironically enough, my former Boston mentor at UMass Boston, Dave Wahlberg, actually works in turfing now. So I could give him a call and probably ask him about that.
Live interview on him. Bring him on.
He's probably turfing something right now.
God, Lord. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Nice setup there from the catcher. Able to square up a little, I would say, to her right of the plate. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Quickly, a two-strike situation there.
Yeah, DeLucia looking to strike out the side now in this inning with one more strike.
1-2 now with 2 away here in the bottom of the fourth.
This would be strikeout number 10 as well.
Ooh, that one just off. Make it 2-2. Well, if Nyla Sapia can find her way on base, it'll bring up Angelica Tompkins. Swing and a miss. Strike out the side. The Eagles go down swinging 1, 2, and 3 times. No runs, no hits, no errors. We move on to the 5th on the CACC Network. back here on the CACC network as just like that, we're flying through this game. Not purposefully a bird analogy there, Mike.
I was going to say, what are we, flying like an eagle, soaring like an eagle through the game?
Soaring like an eagle, flying like an owl. The battle of the birds continues here on the CACC network. It's top of the fifth here as 0-1, the early count to Alyssa Calabrese, or from Alyssa Calabrese, I should say, to Carly Austin.
I swear there's so many Battle of the Birds in the East region anyways, and I always dub it for every single game. I gotta watch myself on that, or else all my stories are going to just be the Battle of the Birds.
There are a lot of bird mascots. I'm trying to think of some other. Franklin Pierce is one of them.
Yep.
Felician is another.
Yep, the Golden Falcons. Roberts Wesleyan is another one, I believe. The Hawks or the Red Hawks, something along those lines.
I can't really think of others right now.
The UDC Firebirds.
Wow. Okay. We're just pulling out from the back of your brain right there.
Yep.
That was just residing up there. Man. If you're a bird mascot, reach out. Reach out to post on Instagram. Swings and hits this one into the parking lot. Cars beware. And, oh, good Lord, it hit a sedan.
We got that on camera, too, on one of the cameras. I don't think it was live, but we did get it on one of the cameras. Like I always say when I'm on these broadcasts, when you come here, just park far away, because we've seen a lot of cars get hit over the last few years, and some just end up in the windshields.
So Austin, after damaging that car, picks up a walk, and if you're listening here at Lemoy and you drive a red sedan, check your car, because I think there might have been a dent. That hit the top of the car. Good Lord. Hope they have a good bodywork guy. Man.
There was actually a car parked over in that parking lot for most of the last spring, and it was close to behind home plate, and not once did it get hit all year. I don't know how. Not once did it take any softballs off it. Every car around it did.
Oh, that's magical. Going for it at second. Throw is not in time and off target. So Austin picks up a stolen bag, and Ingersoll is at the plate with a 2-0 count.
Good play by Sapia over there at second. Not that she was directly back there for a backup, but the way the ball kind of caromed, she was able to slide in there and grab that before it got in the outfield, because runner might have been able to get to third on that in Austin.
That one is lined to the first baseman, and they can't come up with it. Second baseman can't come up with it either. Austin rounding third, headed home, will score. Izzy Ingersoll finds herself an RBI single.
I don't know how Jarrett Michaels, I'm going to call him out, is going to rule that one. Personally, I would probably go with an E3 on that, just because it was hit kind of right to her and she let it roll off the glove and into the outfield. So I think that's just a straight error.
I mean, I could see it either way, honestly. We'll wait to see what Jarrett calls it.
Yeah, he called it an error.
Yep. I'll be an E3.
He put it down as an error to the second baseman. I'll have
to
talk to that.
Right?
Yeah, I'll have to talk to him about that.
Well, if it's an error, it should definitely not be the second baseman's error. It should be E3. E3. So another run scored off of an error for the Owls, as that one is lined into left for a base knock. So now runners on first and second with nobody out here in the top of the fifth. Wonder if nobody's in the bullpen, so I wonder if Garofalo is just going to stick with her.
I think you have to, as that one's hit over to Sapia, and she's going to throw over to first, and that's not going to be in time, so that'll be an infield single for Angiolini. I think she's probably going to stick with Calabrese the rest of the way. Every pitcher, I believe, that the Eagles have rostered right now has gotten into this game. So, at this point, you get everybody some looks in this game, a couple of innings apiece, and then you roll into Florida. I think starting next week with a fresh set of arms. Not that they wouldn't have time anyways if they came in for a second round of pitching. But I think at this point it's probably Calabrese's game. And she's not pitching bad right now. It's the defense that's kind of falling apart right now behind her.
That's right, and she's in a jam, though. Bases loaded, nobody out. This is where heroes are made on the diamond.
Yeah, this would also put us into mercy rule territory if she did go yard.
Grounded up the third base line, foul, as there is somebody warming up for the Owls, funny enough, on that side. It's a right-handed pitcher. Mariah Collins, the junior from Brunswick, New York, warming up for the Owls.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was looking at their roster, and she was the only other pitcher on the staff besides Young, who's hybrid, but Young's in center field, playing in center field and batting in the lineup, so I figured it wasn't her.
Yeah, I saw her number. That's how I got it.
Yeah, you're looking at the game. I'm looking at a screen right next to me.
You could come join me.
Nah. This is actually working well.
As 2 runs will score on that one. And the runner will retreat back to first. She thought about going to second, but then her teammate was sort of in her way. So she said no thanks, ran back.
Yeah, and I liked that the post defense didn't try to get her back at first base, because if you throw that away, then the runner on second is going to advance to third, possibly get home, depending on how far away that skips away if it's not caught cleanly.
So a 2 RBI single, 5-0 now, Owls. And the Owls are really flying away with it.
Yeah, this if she was to go yard here, this would make it into mercy rule territory with the 8 runs.
That one is hit deep into right field, back at the wall, hits the wall, throws it in, runner rounding third. Both runners rounding third. She'll make her way in there to third with a 2 RBI triple, almost a home run. How did you say it?
Yeah, I was about to, I guess, announcers jinxed that one for post, so sorry about that, Eagles fans. But, yeah, what a great piece of hitting, and it perfectly captured on the cameras up top, too, right into that right field corner by Latouche. And now the Eagles are 90 feet, baseball, 60 feet away from getting this game into mercy rule territory with 8 runs.
Yeah, make that 7-0 now, Owls. Very comfortable lead for them, and you're right, some of the best camera work in the CACC showing out.
I like to say we have probably one of the best softball and baseball streams in the CACC that's done by just students and interns, and that's not just me bragging about my team of people.
You said it. That one is popped up and caught by the third baseman for the out. The first out of the half inning, Mike.
Yeah, and now you just got to continue to figure out a way to not let that runner on third score. If you're Calabrese on the mound and the Eagles' defense, I mean, it doesn't look like they're in depth where they're going to try and go home with it. They're not, no one's moving in. They're actually, Sapia's basically on the outfield grass on the left side. On the right side, they're pushed a little bit farther back as well.
So it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter potentially there. Coach is talking to the umpire. It is, Iris Rooney coming in to pinch hit. We saw her last game. There's the Owls cheering on Iris. Right back to the pitcher. Oh, and now she's caught in a pickle between third and home. Throw to third, gets her out. Oh, and now the runner at second almost caught in a pickle of her own.
Yeah, Rooney, a good job of taking that extra base because Lefemini, I don't know why that was such a tongue twister for me to look at and say. So I'm just going to say the runner on third going home, it was a good job of her to retreat kind of slowly to allow that extra base to be taken. So now, again, you got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs that can potentially get this into 8-run run rule territory if you're the Owls.
Yeah, that was interesting there. Play from the runner on third as this one is lifted into left field and right to the left fielder. It falls right into her glove, so Nadia Sestari flies out as the Eagles manage to get out of the inning, but not before allowing many runs to come across to score. It's 7-0 Owls. You're watching the CACC Network.
All right.
Back here on the CACC Network with Mike Vesci by my side. Mike, a big inning for SDSU last time out.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. You know, you don't want to beat yourselves. Not that the Owls, credit to the Owls for stringing together some hits, but it all started with an early error in that inning for SDSU to kind of get things going and start to string those hits together against Calabrese. So now the Eagles have some work to do. They got 9 outs to work with, and they got to make up 7 runs. They did get some runs in the latter part of the first game, and now they got to try and do the same here and slowly build back in this one.
Swing and a miss by Tompkins. Calabrese won't get that much of a break. She's on deck right now. So she'll be in the batter's box, hopefully maybe adding to the Eagles so they can kind of get out of this deficit they're in.
Yeah, and then Tatiana Martinez, I don't think she played in Game 1, will be batting in the 7 spot. She took over in right field after Calabrese came in to pitch for Rule.
Still Delutri on the mound for the Owls as Tompkins strikes out. That'll bring up Alyssa Calabrese.
That's 11 strikeouts now for Delutri.
Unbelievable amount.
Every single Eagle except for Searles has struck out, and then Martinez has just been inserted into the game. So now, according to the live stats here, Rules also, or McGurk was at first base at 1.2, or might be designated player now.
Calabrese lifts this one just over the shortstop's head into shallow center for a base knock. So she helps herself out there by getting on base. It steps in Tatiana Martinez.
I got it now. Okay, looking at the box score where Girk started the game at first. Martinez moved into right when Calabrese went to pitcher, and then Rule took over at first for McGurk. So that was the switch earlier in the game.
One swung on and missed. 0-1.
Eagles did not elect to go with the flex position player that the Owls did with Delutri in the 10 spot. They just went with a regular 9 in game number 2.
One is outside. Delutri, a freshman last year, was a part of the NE10 All-Rookie team and appeared in 19 games, 15 of those being starts, had 79 strikeouts in 88 innings pitched to go along with a 3.74 ERA. This one is grounded into right field for a base hit. Calabrese rounding second, headed to third safely. And Martinez will end up advancing to second on that same play.
And this is what you need if you're the Eagles, string together some hits and start to work and figure out a way to get some runs back. You don't need to get all 7 back right now. Chip away 2 or 3 this inning, 2 or 3 the next inning, and then you head into the 7th inning, as long as Calabrese or whoever's on the mound can hold for the Eagles, down by 1 or even tied. You don't need them all right this minute.
Yeah, it's all about chipping away at the deficit little by little. Sidney Jones will step in.
Talked to her before the season. She was telling me her goal was to hit 500 this year for the team.
Is that right?
Yes.
It's a big aspiration there for her.
She also hopes to move to somewhere warm. She's from Colorado Springs, Colorado, but she wants to work somewhere warm after she's done with her grad degree. Preferably somewhere like Florida, she was saying.
Oh, well, she'll get a sneak peek at Florida with the Eagles over their next 12 games.
Yeah. She did tell me she actually had a job offer when she was done here at Post to work down for a small school, but she decided it wasn't what she wanted down in Florida. So she's looking to go to Florida, and she'll get a chance to, next week.
Swings at a 3-0. I didn't think Garofalo would be the type of person to give them the green light on a 3-0 count.
Yeah, I mean, again, we were talking about how patient the Eagles hitters have been today, and a 3-0 count there where DeLucci's on the ropes with second and third. It's the first time the Eagles, I believe, have had runners in scoring position. They came into the inning with 1 hit, now 3. Kind of make DeLucci work. If you can load the bases with 1 out, that's really big for them. Ooh.
Yeah, that would be huge. As she does end up getting the walk there. The ball ended up being too high. And so now the bases are juiced, and we have a visit in the circle. The first, I think, official visit in the circle for the Owls.
Yeah, and now what I'm thinking is I don't think this is a talk to take her out of the game because we did mention Collins is warming up. I think this is more of a let's settle her down, give her probably this batter, and then maybe you bring in Collins because you're going to be going through the order for a third time after this. This is the number 9 hitter in Searles who's 0 for 1 on the day. So you think that DeLucci could possibly attack her. If Searles ends up getting, a 2 RBI hit, then maybe you're bringing in Collins in what would then be a save situation because the tying run would be on deck.
I think they might have changed their mind on Collins, too. She's no longer in the bullpen, so she would likely have to get out there and stretch and toss again before coming out. They've taken her out of the bullpen. She's back out there on the bench.
Yeah, with softball, you never know. Sometimes all it takes is a few seconds
That's right.
to warm up, especially because it's a more natural arm motion. With the softball throwing it versus baseball, overhand is not natural. So that's why you see these girls go out there and pitch back-to-back days or back-to-back complete games in the same afternoon. Everything.
There's a lot more leeway in that with softball than there is with baseball because you're right. The motion that they have allows them to go longer.
Yeah, I personally can't throw a softball that way and have it not hurt.
That one is lined over the head of the center fielder, hits off the wall. That'll score 1, possibly 2 or 3. That'll score 2 for sure. It's a 2 RBI double, and she's dancing on second.
And now the Eagles, again, dancing with the bats at the plate. That's 3 straight batters now that have reached base safely. 4 straight. 3 of those 4 have been via hits. And now you chipped away at the deficit a little. Okay, now you've got second and third with only 1 out. Maybe you sacrifice Isabella Oliver to get another run across again. Just chip away slowly.
Isabella Oliver, at the plate, swinging and missing. 0-1 now with 1 away and 2 runners on. The Eagles seem to be brewing up something special here.
Yeah, infield is in a little, I think, possibly expecting that sacrifice as well. And it doesn't look like they're going to do it. Oliver has speed, and the way the Eagles have been swinging right now, you don't want to just forfeit an out just to get 1 run across in a 5-run game. But big opportunity here for the Eagles to really slice into this deficit even more.
Yeah, 0-2 today for Oliver, so 1-2 is the count. She's 0-2 today at the plate with a strikeout.
Yeah, DeLucci's got 11 so far and won this inning.
Her career high is 15, so we'll keep an eye on that. Swing and a miss. make that 12 on the day for Delutri. And even Baker's dozen worth of strikeouts.
And that's a very big out for her, just to get that confidence back after the Eagles string together 4 really good ABs. To get that strikeout now for for SCSU and Delutri on the mound is big now with 2 outs. And sacrifice to the outfield is out of the question. The Eagles now will have to get some hits to chip away at this. But again, no matter what you're looking at here, you've chipped away a little bit at the deficit, and you don't need to try and get them all at once. It's slow and steady as long as the defense can now hold from here.
Haley Dabana hits this one into right field yet again towards the bullpen. 0-2 worth of foul balls now. Well, if Dabana can get on base, it'll be Ruel on deck.
Yeah, she'd represent the tying run or go-ahead run, actually. I know, won't matter now, but
strikes him out. 13 now for Delutri as the Eagles pick up 2 runs on a couple of hits, no errors. You're watching the CACC Network. Back here on the CACC Network. Some riveting discussions going on in the booth off air with Mike Vesci, of course, as always.
we're talking about sustainable ways of drinking water. Anthony's claiming he drinks possibly 3 gallons a day, which, I mean,
that's not what I claim.
I ran a half marathon this morning. I haven't even drank anywhere close to 3 gallons of water.
I took a guess at how big my water bottle was, and I said, I know I fill it up 3 times today.
Some of them say it on the bottom.
You know what? Let's take a gander. It's not like there's a baseball, softball, diamond sports. 64 ounces, Mike.
All right, so you do our
Crowder to second, throws to first in time for the out. We got baseball players here, soccer players here, lax players here, but we're looking at water bottles.
Yeah, it literally looks like a mini festival outside. But not as much now, but earlier you had probably 70, 80 kids on the field running football routes, throwing baseballs, playing soccer. Ted Haley's team was practicing to do all right. It's really fun to see in the spring. We don't get to see it too often because it's never this nice out until the end of the season, but we got a rare, really nice day here at Lemoyne that has allowed everybody to come out.
Yeah, I mean, Alyssa Calabrese still on the mound for the Eagles. Izzy Ingersoll out there for the Owls as she's able to hit this one into left field. She's going to get a double out of that. But, yeah, I mean, listen, if you're in high school and you're looking for a college, listen, the vibes are beautiful right here at Post. Wonderful weather. We got all the student athletes out here. Parents, families galore on this wonderful day. This is peak college right here.
Yeah, I mean, especially with it being an in-state rival. You've got a lot of SCSU fans behind home plate right now. It's funny, I was a few of our interns actually are from SCSU and working with us today. Mike Puglio is doing one of the infield cameras for Southern. And I was just actually talking to some of my old advisors from Southern because I was a master's graduate student of there, and they invited me back to do a Q&A panel next month. So, I have Owls ties too, briefly, for a year and a half. And shout out to their SID, Ken Sweeten, who I actually went to my master's program with.
Wow. How about that? So you have a little bit of a bias for both. You got a lot of skin in the game.
I do, and their GA is here. Their softball GA is behind home plate learning how to stat today. We invited him to do that, and he's also helping us out on PA.
Oh, wow, really?
Yep, he's the one out there doing it.
That's awesome. Love to hear that.
Birds helping birds, as we've been talking about the bird puns today.
We just roll as a pack.
Or a flock.
Sure, yeah. It's a flock of owls and eagles in the sky here in Waterbury. As batter Brandon Pearson strikes out. Here in the top of the 6th, 7-2. Things have gone off the rails.
Just a shout-out to it was Ben Martin. I want to make sure I got his name right. Ben Martin, who's the contact for men's soccer, swimming and diving, softball, and he's actually in charge of video operations and broadcast. And he was actually asking me before the game how we stream everything and all that.
Yeah, shout-out. It's Sophia Angiolini, by the way, at the plate, folks. But, shout-out to Ben. I had some conversations with him about rosters. I asked him about the softball roster. He was very kind. He told me he'd be up here today if I needed help.
Yep, nice guy is behind there as that's going to – looks like it's a foul ball there. They're sending the runner back to second and Ingersoll, and count now moves to 1-1.
Yeah, he's a very, very pleasant person to email back and forth with. He was very quick, too. I give him that. I love when people email you back quick.
I wonder if you learned from me.
Sometimes you email me back too quick. No, sometimes you'll surprise me, and I'll email you, and then you'll text me, and I won't see the text because I'm on my email, and I'll be like, oh, I have a missed text. And then it's you responding to my email via text.
A lot of people worry if they don't hear back from me right away via email. They think something's happened.
That one is ripped high and deep into right field. Foul. Oh, man, that was almost a home run.
Yeah, really good piece of hitting here. This is a ballpark that down the lines are really, in any ballpark, but especially here where down the lines are really good areas for balls to be able to get out, but you got to be able to hook it here, especially with the wind.
That one is also ripped into the outfield, right into the gloves of the center fielder, though, as they make way and end the inning. So no runs score, no errors. 7-2, the Owls lead it in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom. All right, back here on the CACC Network in the 6th inning here at Lemoy Field, the home half, with Mike Vesci.
We talked about it last inning. Just chip away slowly is all you got to do. Eagles got 2 back last inning. Defense did their job in the top of the 6th. Now you chip away 2, 3, 4 more. with the middle part of your lineup here if you're the Eagles, and send this one to the 7th inning. Maybe tied if you get 5 out of it, but two-run game into the 9th or the 7th in this case. You'll take that too if you're the Eagles, especially after how last game went, where you did take it into the 9th in a 2-run game.
Giselle Delutris on the mound, or Delutri, I should say, still on the mound for the Owls. Maybe we're looking at a complete game for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think after she settled down that last inning, I can't imagine that they're going to pull her unless, their pitch count, usually their pitch count is on. Here, I'll see if it does show up on pitching.
She had
82 pitches coming to this at bat.
She had 8 complete games last season in her freshman year as she walks the first batter, Bailey Ruel, to start this half inning. That'll bring up Nyla Sapia. Right-handed hitter. Catcher signals to the infield.
Ironically, too, it's been the bottom of the Eagles' order that's been doing the damage in terms of getting the hits and stringing together the runs so far. So they're starting to creep into the part of the order that has been dominating offensively. We'll see if that narrative holds up here as this inning rolls on with Delutri on the mound.
And sometimes you just got to spread your wings.
And soar.
And soar. That's right. And
soar Eagle. That's the hashtag.
That's the official. I was wondering how you were going to work that in there. The official hashtag of the @GoPostEagles, which you can find on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
Almost have 4,000 followers now.
On Instagram, is that right?
Yeah, I think we're at like 3,850.
Wow. Let's get the Eagles to 4K. What'll happen first? Mike runs a 5K or the Eagles hit 4K on Instagram?
Mike runs a 5K. I ran like 3 and 4 of those this morning.
You ran one this morning?
No, I ran a half marathon this morning. So that's.
Let's do I don't know, 10K?
that was also a half marathon. 10K is only 6 miles.
So what's it? What 20K?
20K. That's. No, that 20K is still not even a half marathon.
What happens first? Mike runs a marathon or educates me on running, or the Eagles hit 4,000 followers on Instagram?
I feel like the Eagles will probably hit 4,000 followers before I run a marathon.
or I let you educate me on running.
This is true.
I feel like I'd get bored. Watch out in the parking lot. That one goes back on the South Bend.
Join the post-game show where we'll invite cross-country coach Dylan Bell, and I'll be on air live, and we'll talk running for a half hour afterwards. How about that?
It'll end up being the post-podcast, not the post-game shows. That one is high and deep into the outfield. Hits off the wall. Right fielder going for it. Throws to the cutoff, man. And that'll ends up being a base hit only. Can you believe that?
Yeah, unfortunately, because the way our press box is, looking at the screen here, really couldn't see where the ball went if you were watching at home. But another nice piece of hitting down the right field line for Sapia, as well as just the last few batters we've seen on offense for both sides. As it looks like now we're going to get a pinch runner. I can't quite see the number because of how far out we are from here. It's number 12 for the Eagles. That's Sophia Hines. So, ironically enough, Sophia's sister Brianna Hines was the starting catcher last year for the Eagles as a senior. Catcher for the team, and she graduated, or actually I think she graduated a year early as a junior, and I think she's now in her grad degree at the University of Bridgeport down the road. She's not playing, but she's in her grad degree down at Bridgeport.
Yeah, we have a circle visit here. And Giselle Delutri will stay in the game. But it would seem that head coach Kate Bowen wanted to speak to her a little bit. Kate knows a thing or two about playing softball. 4-year Division I player at Manhattan College, where she hit .340 as that one is lifted over the second baseman, rounding third and headed home for the run. The Eagles score. Now runners on the corners. Well, the Eagles cooking up something here, Mike.
That's what we talked about. Chip away. And now you've got runners on the corners. You've chipped another run down. Can you get 2 or 3 more out of this inning? And, again, take the lead or tie it would be great. It's hard to get big innings as we're going to get Collins here on the mound now, so we got a little bit of a break. But, take that slow approach to where they're working counts well against these against the Lutri, especially in the last 2 innings. And now they'll have to try and do it against Collins. But then kind of manufacture some runs to chip away at this lead. And that's probably, I'm going to say what probably Coach Garofalo has been talking with this team about these last few innings, because we're seeing it right now. They're stringing together good ABs, and they're working their way back into this game slowly. Now with runners on the corners and no one out, you at least have a really good chance, a high percentage chance of getting 1 more run in. And then you got the runner on first. Again, 3 outs to work with, depending on what you want to do with now the bottom half of your lineup. And I believe it, according to the stats here, Calabrese will be coming up, who's 1 for 2. And Martinez, who got her first collegiate hit last inning, will be on deck to try and string something together here and manufacture a couple more runs.
Yeah, well, that does it for Delutri's night. The junior Mariah Collins at Brunswick, New York, takes her place as they're going to have another circle meeting to kind of, talk with her battery mate and just make sure they're on the same page going in to this next at-bat. So it's Collins on the mound now as she gets ready to face her first batter. Will be a ball, 1-0.
Calabrese is one of the best hitters on this team last year all around. Not so much with the power numbers. You're not going to look at her numbers and say, wow, she had a lot of home runs and a lot of RBIs, but she had a lot of extra base hits, doubles and triples for this team, and I think was pretty much on top of the batting average for the team as well. The second on the team at 262 with 10 extra base hits, 10 RBIs. Again, a middle-of-the-pack hitter, but 32 hits in 42 games. Definition of consistency in her first 2 seasons with the Eagles. We talked to her at the end of before the beginning of last year, where she talked about how her approach at the plate was going to change, as that's going to be a stolen base.
Yeah.
We talked with her about her approach at the plate. She started to string some hits together at the end of the year after hitting like 140, 150 early on in the season. And she talked about how she was making adjustments with her hitting coach, with the coaching staff at post. Strung together a really good year last year. Now she's already started in these first 2 games of 2026 now.
That one is lifted up. Catcher's got it for the out. Collins able to pick up her first out and the first at-bat of relief. First out of the inning as well for the Owls.
Yeah, you wish if you're the Eagles that could have been a quote-unquote productive out, getting it to the outfield with the pop fly to try and get that run across at third, especially now with 2 runners in scoring position. You can work with a few different things. A single probably scores 2 and makes it that 2-run game we talked about chipping away at.
Well, first down there is a 1-0 count early on. Runners on second and third now. 7-3 the score here in the bottom of the 6th. Makes it 2-0 now. Make it 3-0. Give her the green light?
No. In this situation, with it being 7-3, tying run on deck, and Sydney Jones, who I've talked to Bailey Dickinson about, who said she can hit for power. I'm not swinging away. Well, she didn't swing away.
She didn't. 3-1 though now. Takes the strike as it's now a little bit more interesting. 95 pitches in 5 innings of work for Delutri. They earned run average of 4.20 in her first game. Talk about 13 strikeouts, too shy of a career high. That one is flown out into center field. Center fielder is there, tagging up, runner from third and the runners from second. Both will make it in there safely. Now 7-4 Eagles down, but not out.
Yep, productive outs is what I just talked about. That's a productive out if you're the Eagles. Martinez at the plate does a good job of, again, choking up and making sure that that's not a strikeout there or an infield hit that retires a batter or forces a play at home. She does a good job of getting that to the outfield, get a run across, advance the runner. Now you have a chance to possibly get one more on a base hit by Jones. Hey!
And there it is. This RBI single will allow the runner to score. Now 7-5. Eagles making a comeback.
Yep. Again, I don't know. Maybe they're hearing me in there. Do they have me on in the dugout? Because I
is that a thing?
I don't think so.
Have they done that before?
No, but I mean, it seems like in these last 2 innings, everything I'm saying has kind of come to fruition in terms of taking the counts as they come and chipping away slowly and scoring 2 runs last inning and 3. This is scary, actually. They're doing exactly what I've been saying. Might have to, if we come back and win this, look at Go Post Eagles in the next few days for a compilation of all the calls I said in the last few innings coming together.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Searles up to bat now. That's too funny. Little Go Post Eagles comp.
I mean, at this rate, yeah, if we come back and win this with 3 in the 7th or 2 in the 7th, depending on how the rest of this frame shakes out.
That one hit 1 car, almost 2. That one flew into the parking lot. They're going to send for somebody to grab that for sure, as that one is lined right to the first baseman. That will end that inning, but not before the Eagles pick up a couple of runs on many hits. No errors. 7-5, the Owls still lead it. All right, back here on the CACC Network. Mike Vesey on my side as we get ready for top of the 7th, Mike.
Yeah, I might have to sign a 10-day coach's contract to go down to Florida if this 7th inning goes the way I predicted back in the 5th.
That's okay. I'll go to Florida for you.
Thank you.
Well, if you're paying, right? Throw to first is in time for the first out.
Good scoop there by Rule at first from DeBona, who continues to just, I almost said slay at the hot corner there, but she has been. I mean, I think that's 6 put-out. There are 6 assists now on the afternoon.
Why not? You could say she's slaying.
Yeah. It didn't feel very broadcastery to me.
Broadcastery?
Yeah.
Did you just invent a word?
I did.
Oh, this is a train wreck. Merriam-Webster, if you're watching, don't sponsor Mike.
Call me.
No. Don't call him. Yeah, call him only if you're going to give him a dictionary. Maybe a thesaurus. That one is lifted. Foul. Oh, caught by the by the gal in the bullpen. How about that? Little heads-up play there. There is somebody else warming up for the Owls. Unfortunately, she is wearing a shirt, not her jersey, so we can't tell you who it is.
I mean, the only other pitcher listed on the roster is Olivia Young. Unless they brought Lewis back in, as that was a strikeout swing in there by Latouche.
Nice strikeout there from Calabrese, and picks up another K. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like she has, I don't know, like a T-shirt on, but I think her jersey's underneath, so we can't see the number, though.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. When I was at Eastern Connecticut, we had jerseys so they had sweatshirts that they'd put over, but they had their numbers on the back.
Their numbers in
yeah,
those, right?
So they would play in them sometimes when it was really cold out, I remember. We had a pitcher who would wear hers almost every game because it was so cold out. And
you figure they'd give her like a warm-up jacket or something. I don't know. Something. I don't know who she is, though. She's warming up.
Yeah, I mean, it is starting to get a little chillier as the sun sets and those shadows are over the bullpen right now. And you got to be interesting to see as this game wears on, if it goes much longer, the shadows behind home plate as they start to creep in. That can always factor in.
Sure, as that is lined right to the third baseman, throws to first in time. And the defense has come alive here for the Eagles. 1, 2, 3. Go the Owls, flying back to their dugout, bottom of the seventh, coming up next. Back on the CACC network. Home half of the seventh as that one is flown deep into center field. Back at the track. Won't catch it. It hits off the wall. And into third with a leadoff triple, the Eagles. And the crowd goes wild, Mike.
Shout out Mike Puglio. I was watching that on the stream, and he did a great job of covering a rounding first into second and third, and we got that live for you guys there. So that's my takeaway from that, but a great start to the inning for the Eagles as well, as Isabella Oliver leads off with her first hit of the game, and now the middle of that lineup will come up for the Eagles, tying run on deck, and Rule, too, who's a power hitter. So a lot to work with and happy to be about if you're the Eagles to start this inning, and Coach Vesci, who talked about this in the fifth, chipping away. A new pitcher coming in, though.
Yeah, what a color commentator we got here. New pitcher in the game, so just as fast as we bring you back to the action, we'll take you away for a moment and then tell you all about the new pitcher coming in. We'll be right back on the CACC Network. All right, just like that, we're packing the action. A leadoff triple to start, and that brings in Ashley Lewis out of the bullpen in relief. She started game 1, though, Mike.
Yeah, and she was dominant in game number 1, and I believe, and then before, who came in? It was Kate Nickerson who came in for the save at the end of that game as well for SCSU. So a good start by Lewis there that led into to Nickerson getting the save. The Eagles got a few runs off of her in that 7th inning. This team, no quit in them as we saw in game number 1, and now to start off the 7th inning of game number 2 as that ball in center field was just out of the reach of Olivia Young after making a good play in the 6th inning.
With a runner on third, not charged to her, the run would be charged to Collins still, who's now in the dugout waiting to see if that run goes against her. This run here might not go against her, but the batter at the plate will, so she'll have to try to get out of this here. She is also working on a save opportunity with the score being only a 2-run difference.
Yeah, it's a rare chopper over to third, and short.
Throws to first in time, though, for the out.
Yeah, Ingersoll with the good play there, and Pearson with the nice pick at first. And I believe it looks like Oliver held up at third, too. So that's a big out if you're the Owls there. But a power hitter at the plate in Rule, who's 1 for 2 on the day, coming to the dish.
Yeah, with a walk as well as a strikeout. Well, she's also got a hit, too. That one slapped up right back to the pitcher. Plays catch with her first baseman for the out.
If you're the Owls, that's exactly what you wanted. And if you're the Eagles, that was a pair of at bats where patience kind of was too short. That was the first pitch swing for Rule, and then it was 4th pitch swing for DeBona. So DeBona worked it kind of a little more. But it's great defense by the infield of the Owls to hold back Oliver at third. And now you've got your cleanup hitter, Sapia, at the plate. You got to be a little more patient here. You don't have anything else to work with now if you're the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles look to sort of snap their now 7-game home losing streak dated back to last season. As that one grounded up back to Lewis. That will do it. The throw to first is in time. Lewis makes quick work of the Eagles after a hot start to the 7th. That'll do it for this game. Mike, wow.
Tremendous by Lewis to come in and get those 3 outs on like 6 or 7 pitches. I'm not saying that for the meme either. I think it was 6 or 7 pitches. Getting a look here right now. It was actually 7 pitches. Tremendously well done. She worked she gave the batters balls in spots where they could make contact with it, but they weren't going to get hard contact of it. So good job of her mixing her pitches in that final inning to get the save opportunity and get this sweep for SCSU, getting out of here with a narrow 7-5 victory. But if you're the Eagles too, man, after you come off of a year where you're 4-38, but you got mercy ruled by the Owls last year in both of your games to start the year, and they showed fight throughout both of these games. So that's a really positive thing to take away from these games, even though you're 0-2. So the Eagles have a lot to look forward to now going down to Florida, including the warm weather, as they move forward here. But a really good effort here down the stretch by the Eagles, who could have easily packed it up after it was 7-0.
Yeah, and now the Eagles and Owls are tied in their all-time series history together through 16 games now. 8-8 is the record. The Eagles came into this with a 2-game advantage, but now after the sweep, they continue to struggle at home. Now lost 8 straight dating back to last season, and they are swept in the season opening series for the 4th straight season, Mike.
Yeah, but again, it's always hard when a team has your number. Eagles won the first half of that all-time series. I believe they only lost 1 game to start, and now the Owls have crept back and made good work of the Eagles in the past few years. And these are how those in-state rivalries work. One and the other kind of flip-flop depending on things that are happening with their program and whatnot. And for SCSU, Kate Bowen, it's her first full year with the team. She was the interim head coach last year when she put together that 15 and 23 record for the Owls. And if you're the Owls too, you have a lot of good things to take away in terms of your offense got going against post, but at the same time, your pitching struggle at times. So how do you kind of work to make sure that your pitching has more consistent outings moving forward, so that you can complement the offense? Because a lot of times you can have a good offensive team that goes out there and puts up a lot of runs, but if you don't have the pitching to back that up, you're going to run into a lot of high-scoring games and leave it up to your offense to try and hang with a team that may have better pitching than you or vice versa. So if you're the Owls, a good start to your year at 2-0 as you head down to Florida. And again, for the Eagles, first few games under Tracy Garofalo, coming back for her 16th year with the program, to take away going into your Florida trip.
Yeah, both teams now head down to Florida. One happier than the other, of course, but both will play many games down there. Eagles will play 12, so tons of time to kind of get going and get back in rhythm before coming back up to New England.
Yep, and it'll be fun to see all year long here from Lemoy Field for all the games. Gosh, I think we have close to 20 home games this year for softball after today, 18. So there'll be a lot of action at Lemoy Field. A lot of great matchups here between post and all their conference opponents, and a lot of non-conference, really good opponents in non-conference play. But again, if you can compete against this Owl team the way that they have, I think CACC play, this is a team that, based on what I've seen today compared to the last 2 years being here at Post, I think they have a shot to make it back into the CACC playoffs based on the offensive performance that they put together today, especially if they clean up the defense. There was a lot of errors, I think 6 total on the day that the Eagles had. If you were able to clean that up on the defensive end, which I'm sure this team will be able to as the year goes on, and your offense continues to hit the way they are, I think this is a team that you're going to see rise from that bottom echelon of the CACC and possibly make a play for the 7th or 8th spot in the CACC tournament, if not even higher, depending on how conference play goes, because there's a lot of great conference teams out there this year in the CACC.
Yeah, just a tough loss for them today, but hopefully they'll pick it up in Florida. From all of us here, Mike Vesey by my side, Leah Lockwood, Mike Bronson, Owen Brown, Jared Michaels on stats today, and Mike Puglio. This is Anthony Altamirano saying so long